What's a good title for this one? I tried getting poked in the face so you don't have to. That's it. That's my intro. Hi, I'm Mandy, you're watching Swell Entertainment, and today we are talking about my experience getting PRF and microneedling done. Now, behind me is one of the microneedling gun things. I know it's not super in focus, that's kind of the point, but I decided this was better than, say, my before, during, and then now images. I don't know with how YouTube has been flagging a lot of the video game content of like bloody content and all of that. I really don't know how much of the actual like during/post procedure is going to be able to stay up in this video, and me removing one image or video clip is one thing versus removing the entire background and putting something else over it. So this is the actual safer option. Yes, this is needles. My head's going to be covering it half the time. So you should be okay if you have issues with needles. I have issues with needles. We're going to talk about a lot of different things today. But really quick, let me tell you about the sponsor for today's video, SeatGeek. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. Maybe you don't want to go to any of the events that I cover on my channel, but don't worry, SeatGeek has over 70,000 events listed every day on their app. From sporting events to festivals to concerts and so much more. So many musical artists are announcing tours, and the last thing you want to do is miss out. They even want to make sure you know you're getting a good deal, so they have a green and red system. Obviously, green means good deal, red means bad deal. Every ticket is backed by a buyer guarantee, and they are the only platform that allows you to return your ticket ahead of an event via swaps. SeatGeek hooked my audience up with $20 off your first order on SeatGeek when you use code SWELL. That's promo code SWELL for $20 off your first purchase with SeatGeek. Go ahead and click the link in my description box to download the app. Thank you again to SeatGeek for sponsoring this video. Yes, today we are talking about my experience with microneedling. And for that reason, I don't have any actual face makeup on. I have my eyebrows done and I have my eye makeup done, obviously. But that's it. I don't have anything other than SPF on top of my moisturizer. We'll do close-ups and all that fun stuff towards the end so you can see everything, but that's why I might look a little different. And we're going to talk about the other stuff that I've had done so far as well, so that you're not like, wait, but they didn't touch your under eyes. So we shall talk. So way back in August of 2022, I went to an event called Babetopia in Huntington Beach. Okay, I found it through Eventbrite and I was like, oh, this could be a fun idea for a video. And then the video never ended up coming out. Sorry, a cloud just decided to cross over and mess with my lighting. So William gets to do a little bit of color correcting, but hopefully not much. But while there, that's where I met the ladies from Gold Coast Aesthetics, all right? And I was like, hey, can we talk about under eye filler? Do you guys do tear trough filler? Because they were doing little consultations there, basically. While there, I ended up booking 2 sessions of PRF and a little bit of filler for the first session. And because I had spent money and booked it there, I got to spin the wheel. We were doing a little giveaway. And in doing that, I won microneedling, a full face of microneedling, totally free on top of what I was already going to get done. That was back in August, start of, October, I believe, or the end of August is when I got my first round of PRF done and the little bit of filler that was in, so you guys can see this eye area. There is going to be a video about that whole experience later, but I decided I wanted to wait until we're entirely done with what we plan on doing before I do a whole video talking about the experience of PRF, under eye, filler, all that stuff. Okay, so that's down the line, but that's why my under eyes look different, okay, than say a year and a half ago. And we also ended up doing a little bit of PRF to correct an issue this time around, but we'll talk about that a little later. And then towards the end of November, in December, we did the second round of PRF, but I had gotten a bug bite. When, how, I don't know. No other bug bites, just one right here, and my whole under eye area swelled up. It was funny because I was like, yeah, see, this is where I want it to get to, because it did look like I had fillers or something right there. But because it was swollen there, they were like, hey, the second session, we're not going to do the injection in that spot. So this side it was like lopsided, basically. Not lopsided, like obviously, but like this side did not get the treatment that, say, the rest of my whole under eye area got last time. So called in January and I was like, hey, when can we, book this? And they were like, yeah, we also have your microneedling. We can do everything the same day. So that is what you were going to see. You're going to see me getting a little bit of the PRF done. I don't know if we actually filmed it. My dad goes with me to help me film these things because my dad is also a YouTuber and I know that he will just shut up and film. I shouldn't say he'll shut up and film because you're going to hear him making comments throughout a lot of this footage. So Hermes and I are about to leave to go to my dad's. And then we're going to go to Gold Coast and get microneedling done. So I want to make sure I get before and afters of everything. So Here's my face. I have no makeup on. I just have moisturizer and sunscreen on. My eyes are a little watery just because it's the morning time. That's normal for me. Yep, we got fine lines on my forehead. We got fine lines between my eyes, different lightings. Ooh. So we shall see how this works out. But the reason that my dad takes me as well is not only just to help me with filming, but also to drive me. I have such bad anxiety when it comes to needles. I don't know what it is because my parents were good parents and got me all my necessary vaccinations growing up. I still hated needles. I don't know what it was. Ever since I was a kid, I've hated needles. There were times where I think it was for my 7th grade shots. They literally had to divide it up over the course of a couple of months because I was having such bad anxiety and I left claw marks in my mom at one point. I kicked a nurse another time. I hid under the table and they threatened to get the elephant gun, which I don't think helped things. But I just have bad anxiety around needles, especially with blood draws and things like that. You guys know I did Accutane for 10 months back in 2019, 2020 era. Because I'm someone that can get pregnant, I had to get monthly blood draws done so that they can make sure I was not pregnant. It was literally a requirement for me to go and do that so I could get a refill of my Accutane so I can continue the program. And in doing that, I was like, okay, eventually I will get used to blood draws. No, never got used to them. Hate them still. So for PRF, what PRF is that we take blood from your arm. They centrifuge it. And then the PRF, it's like the platelets, I believe. And then the other bits. I'm an English major. They take the stuff out and then that's the PRF. Okay. That's what it is. And then sometimes they mix it with gel. The first round I did this, they mix it with a little bit of filler and that was it. But then there's PRF gel, which is a separate thing. We're just talking about PRF. Every time I've gone in, I've gotten a little blood draw. So I don't think we filmed it this time because we've done it so many times. I will use one of the other clips of me getting the blood drawn at Gold Coast Aesthetics. Basically, they give me a ball. I squeeze that. They do the tie off, clean it off, do the blood draw. I don't look, so I don't throw up. I've never actually passed out, but I probably would throw up. And it's not that bad once it's done. Okay, I don't like it. The thing is that every time I've had something done with my face, I don't know if it's because they use a cannula or what, it does not hurt that much. So I was not worried about microneedling because when I did have acne, don't do this, okay? Before, when I did have acne, before I went on Accutane, before I started actually learning what the heck to do with my skin and all this stuff, I had one of those roller things, the roller microneedles. Unless you seriously know what you're doing, unless you are able to properly sanitize it, I vote don't do it. I was an idiot. I'm so lucky I did not get an infection. I'm so lucky I did not get a worse result or whatever. But those roller things, those self microneedling things, unless you know exactly what you're doing, do not do that. I vote no, okay? It's too easy to get an infection. This whole process as well was a lot, okay? So we're just, but I have done that. And that wasn't fun, but it didn't hurt. So I was like, this could be fine. And they'd also told me that we were going to be doing numbing cream. We did PRF right in this corner. I don't know if it's still there. Let's see. Zooming. There was a bruise. I don't know if it's still there. It's yellowy here. Focus on my face. There we go. It's this lump right here is not a lump. It's a discoloration patch from when I was on Accutane because Accutane is makes your skin incredibly sensitive to light and you can cause severe sun damage. So I think this is all I got away with from Accutane was this little splotch here, which I think kind of adds character. I think it's like, oh, what's that? I think it's fun. But right below it, I believe, is the yellow from the bruise from where we did the PRF on this side. So that's just where they did bloop, 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 and that's really it. Last time I had PRF done, they did this side and then also the under eye side on both sides, except for this side, obviously. And the reason I went back in and was like, hey, can we do this side was because on camera, when I'm editing, I can tell the difference between my under eye areas. I totally can tell. I mean, I think they're looking really good, frankly. Sorry, I'm looking at myself in the viewfinder. They did the whole face of numbing cream, which you're gonna see in the footage. 10, 15 minutes I had the numbing cream on. They had me wash my face and she was like, it's gonna feel like it's not off, but trust me, it's off. And I was like, okay. The only part that really felt numb as I was washing my face was my mouth area. I'm sure you'll hear me being like, my lip feels weird and talking about that experience because it just felt super weird. It felt crazy. It felt numb. It felt like I had been to the dentist. It felt super weird. And I don't know if it's because I have thinner skin here or what the deal is, or just because my lip is more sensitive. I don't know. But the rest of my face, I just genuinely didn't feel anything. And I don't mean that as the numbing cream was working. I mean, I did not feel the numbing cream doing anything. It felt like the way my face feels now. It felt totally normal. So wash my face. It did feel a little gummy, but it wasn't a big deal. Then get back in the chair. And the sound is not pleasant. I will tell you that.
What's the pain level?
Like a 2, if that.
Okay. So we're gonna go at different depths.
Okay.
So right now I'm just kind of getting your skin used to the feeling a little bit.
Trying to figure out how to describe the feeling, so it doesn't hurt. It's like
a scratching.
It's not even that though. It's like if you've ever put like the harder part of Velcro against your cheek, but like rapid fire. How do I look at?
You look fantastic.
It seems pretty good. Like you don't have any like significant like textural problems. Like,
yeah. Definitely like on the spot where it's like near the like eyebrow ridge and the forehead ridge. I can feel it more, but it's still not painful. But it's definitely more of a sensation of like, clearly something's happening in my face right now.
Yeah. I'm just gonna do a little bit more right here. I know it's sensitive once we come back to it.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah.
I'll just do here about 15 seconds.
You're totally fine. It's not painful, it's just weird, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, the sound is the like...
The scary part.
Yeah, it's just like, oh god, it's coming.
So this is kind of ticklish a little bit. I feel like it tickles. Like it makes you feel like you need to sneeze. Maybe a little bit more of this on there.
I will let you know if I need to sneeze.
Okay, yeah, let me know.
My father is getting an estimation in there.
Couple light spots, okay?
Yeah.
Just point them out.
Yeah.
That's why it's good to have somebody else come in.
Yeah. Any other problem areas that you see, Father? Jeez.
So I'm gonna put a little bit of Aquaphor on your skin right now, as well as sunblock, because I know it feels like very dry.
Yeah, it feels hot and tight more than anything. Yeah.
The tightness is because the PRF dried on your skin essentially. Yeah. So just gonna take off a little bit of this.
What's up?
Maybe a little bit under the eyes.
Okay.
But overall, it should be pretty tolerable.
Oh, okay. I expected way worse, honestly.
Yeah, it's more of the cheeks that get cut, right? Because there's more blood flow on the cheeks, so they get more red.
Yeah, it definitely feels hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That will kind of quickly go away, like 30 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So on average, say because like you're saying, like my acne scarring is not too bad though, but like how regularly would you recommend someone get this?
So if somebody is treating an active problem, like let's just say if it's for like acne scarring or pigmentation, ideally 3 to 4 sessions a month apart, just to kind of get it done within a shorter time frame. But if it's more for maintenance, like wow, is my shirt on backwards? It's totally on backwards. For like maintenance, you could do it like every 4 months or so. Okay. Like if there's not like a very specific concern like acne or scarring, and you're just wanting for more like collagen and
to like avoid Botox type of thing.
Yeah. Like every 4 months.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. All right, I will update you guys in like an hour. The sound is not pleasant. Does it hurt? No. Originally, there are times where it did hurt more than others, but it really just kind of felt like someone was like going like this with like a fingernail on the back of your hand. Like that. Like if you do that, that's all it felt like. Really, that's it. And I don't know if it's just good numbing cream or if it really just doesn't hurt that much, because everyone that I've seen, it's like, oh, it doesn't hurt a lot. I don't know if you guys ever watched Gabby Hanna's. I think she was still known as the Gabby Show back then, but she did like a whole bunch of facial fillers and procedures and things like that to kind of tweak her appearance years ago. For one of the things she did, she had someone come over and do, I believe, microneedling at her apartment. They had given her the numbing cream beforehand, and she put it on like almost an hour, I believe, before she actually did the procedure. And I think it had made her skin raw more than anything. And so it hurt actually more because her skin was already highly sensitive. I was not in pain. And I want to make that very clear. I'm a baby, okay? There's a lot that I can tolerate in my life. When it comes to pain, I may not say anything, but I have the worst pain tolerance. It was uncomfortable at times, but it wasn't painful. And I really want to reiterate that. And the only time where it felt like, okay, this sucks, was when she was going over like the cheek spots that she had already done previously to get spots that she had missed. That was the only time where I was like, okay, this doesn't feel good, but it wasn't like, I was like, oh my God, like I wasn't like pulling away from her, obviously, as you see in the video clips. Fun fact, I kept trying to sneeze when she was doing my forehead. what's going on up there that made me want to sneeze? I didn't. I just kept being like, I'm going to sneeze. And then I didn't, which is fine. Even when she was going over the parts that she had already done, it was just kind of like, God, how do I explain it? Like you have a healing scar, but you like scratched it, you know, but you didn't break the skin. You know, it's kind of like, it's not pleasant, but it's not painful, you know, or it just sucks. Burning sensation, but not burning like burning. Like, okay, so someone's been going like this and yeah, you've rubbed your skin raw, you just keep going. Eventually it doesn't get pleasant anymore, or not pleasant, not that it was pleasant in the first place, but it doesn't feel good. You know, that's kind of the feeling. I am super good at describing this to you guys. And then for the next week, I took clips each day to show how things were going and all of that. All right, so it's about 5:30 now. This is where we're at. Redness is pretty severe still. Not severe. Severe is not the word. I'm definitely pink. I went to Rite Aid and I was like, it just looks like I don't know how to put on sunscreen. I can't wash my face till about 8, so I'm not looking forward to that part. Hermes is here. He's annoyed he can't give me kisses, but he cannot give me kisses because I am not getting a face infection. It's just not happening. Hi. So it's more like 8:30, 9-ish now. Just wash my hands. I have a clean towel here for afterwards, and we're going to wash my face with cold water. I just went and picked up some daily facial Cetaphil because just made sure that it had, you know, no salicylic acid or anything that would be upsetting to my skin, and we're going to wash it. So here, let me show you these. So here's the current state of my face. Then we have the puffy here from where they did the injection today for the PRF. And yeah, it's just itchy. It does not hurt. It's just itchy now. So I'm hoping that washing all this off, the PRF will be good. And then we got some Aquaphor ready to go. And that's just the only skincare I'm doing tonight. Ignore the state of this faucet. It's at, we're at my dad's house. Ah, that feels weird. It doesn't hurt. It's just like I'm clearly taking something off my face. I know this is really riveting content. All right, so far so good, no stinging. Making sure I get all the drippings that were down my chin. All right. Looks significantly less red without the PRF on. So the PRF is like just taken from my blood, so that makes sense. The skin right on the bridge of my nose has always been thinner, so that doesn't surprise me that that had more of a reaction. But we're gonna do Aquaphor all over my face now. Yay. It's gonna be super gentle. You recommended patting in versus rubbing in, so yeah, it's not even fully stinging. It's just almost like pins and needles, but not really. It does feel warm, which I don't like. I'm in my face, not the Aquaphor. I'm gonna stay up for a little longer, see if the redness goes down any more because I've taken that off now, and just gonna let this absorb a bit more. And then Hermes and I are gonna probably have an early night just because I'm exhausted. So it's almost 1 a.m. I just woke up. My face really itches. Really itches. So I just came in here and just washed my hands again and then put on more Aquaphor on the spots where I was like, ugh. But yeah, I want to scratch my face and I'm trying not to. Very swollen. Puffy, shouldn't say very, here is swollen. This side is definitely swollen though here as well. But yeah, it itches like a motherfucker really bad. Anyways, gonna try and go back to sleep. Hermes is in my spot. Fuck you, move. Good morning. It's about 6:30 a.m. I was able to go back to sleep eventually. It was more Hermes keeping me awake than the itchiness. It's not too bad right now. This part of my chin feels a little itchy. But yeah, you can tell where I slept on my side. That's not from this. It's a little divot. Hi, so it's evening of 1 day post procedure. Hi, Hermes. Hermes says hello. We're about to go back to LA. And it does not hurt. I've been inside almost the entire day, basically. And it's itchy like a motherfucker. My friend recommended, because my friend's a tattoo artist, she was like, oh yeah, when my tattoos itch, I just tap them, you know, with like a knuckle or something. That's what I've been doing. I've been tapping the itchy spots when they happen. So I'm not scratching or anything. It's not painful. It itches like a motherfucker. Like, you know, like a healing itch. That's what it itches like. Anyways, we're about to get on the road and get out of here and go back to LA. All right, so I had to film a brand deal. So I put a little bit of blush on, but I noticed that this part of my nose, it's pretty dry. Like it feels like, chalky's not the word, like crusty. Feels crusty. You can barely tell visually, but it feels like it. Still getting itchy mainly like in this part of my face, so I just keep doing the tapping. Like I'm punching myself in the face, but it's honestly much better today. And then, like I said, I have not reapplied the CC cream, so it's just kind of just took some of the redness out and then I added the blush. That's really it. But it's also very hot in my apartment right now because my AC decided to break right as it starts getting warmer in LA. Love that for me. Day 4. It's Monday. So my skin feels a little firm, if that makes sense. Not like firm as in tight, but like to the touch, it feels like just different. It feels like the skin on my arm almost a little bit. I think this is the before phase, and then afterwards is like the bright, dewy look that they talked about. And I do think I might peel because I'm peeling here and here. So I'm wondering if maybe I'll get a little more peeling because at the end of the day, I do have typically pretty dry skin. So I'm wondering if that is why I'm going to end up peeling versus why other people don't usually peel. It's now the Tuesday after I had the procedure done. Oh, there it is. As you can see, I'm peeling a little bit on my top lip. Still peeling here. I haven't washed my face yet. That's just sleep gunk. Hopefully it's not too bad. Is that a bruise? Did I bruise a little bit? Oh, I may have bruised a little bit from the PRF. That's funny. I don't think I've ever bruised like that. So I just got back a little while ago when I washed my face, got all the makeup off. There's my little bruise. I don't know if it's going to show up, but my whole face is peeling just a little bit, but like a sunburn peel, not like bad peeling. Gosh, I don't know if it's showing up or not. I can't tell. Here, cheekbone area, like not so much on my forehead, which is honestly where I needed to peel. And then my nose area. So that's fun. I'm going to load up my face with Aquaphor and go to bed. Day 7. I just washed my face, did my skincare, and then put on this sunscreen because I evidently forgot to repack my super group that I usually use. And there's a white cast in this one, so I just rubbed it in as good as I could. And hopefully it does not cause any issues, but I do look a little paler. I think my skin looks pretty good right now, so yeah. So hello. So here's my face. I think that's where I just scratched my face with my nail because I'm a genius. Yeah, so as you can see, it's a little bit here. The yellow is still a little bit there. There's my discoloration patch. It's right on the edge of my eye. These are my normal hollow areas. Stop it. Focus on my face. Thank you. Nose here. This was definitely the reddest spot, was right here. Not surprising. I usually get a little line there from going like this when I blow my nose, which has led to my line. A lot of the women in my family actually have this. So I don't know how much of it is genetic and how much of it is just from me having allergies. And then forehead. Still definitely have lines on my forehead because I go like this a lot. But this is where if I have any acne scarring left over from my acne, it's definitely going to be in my forehead. As you can see, I've got a couple little, like what I call craters. I think even from before I had acne, just from when I had breakouts and I would pick at my face because I'm crazy. Well, I shouldn't say I'm crazy because a lot of people pick at their faces, but you get my point. My eyes look really pretty. Sorry, I did my makeup differently today and I'm kind of liking how green it's making my eyes look. Technically, this is not the finished result. The finished result will be in a couple of months because really what we're doing is just causing some, trauma to the skin to kind of encourage my skin to make, obviously some new cells, get some growth in there, help with discoloration, all of that. So not finished, but I wanted to show you guys, like, obviously a week out essentially, or a little longer than it's currently Sunday as I'm filming this. So like literally a full 9-ish days after I got this done, that this is where I'm at. But honestly, no one could really tell 3 days out. I actually went and met with my scene partner for class on the Sunday after I got this done. So 3 days out. And aside from a little bit of peeling, you could not tell. She was like, your skin looks great. What are you talking about? Focus. There we go. Focus. Focus. Why did I do this? Well, one, it was free. But also, I don't really want to get Botox yet. Hi, I'm Amanda. I'm 25 and I want to be an actress, so I kind of have to look a little younger. And also, I have a very expressive face. And I like how expressive my face is, but I also don't like that I have these forehead lines. I just don't like them. It's fine. Eventually, I'm probably going to start with baby Botox just to kind of loosen this line here and there. We did talk about potentially doing a gummy smile Botox and then a lip flip because that won't last more than like a month. And so doing that before getting lip fillers, we're going to try that out. That's another video maybe. I don't know. Overall, do I regret getting microneedling? God, no. No. The itching sucked, I won't lie. But I am excited to see how this changes over the next couple of months and see how that progresses and see if it does help. I might do it again in a couple of months, but it probably won't be for like 2 or 3 months until I do it again because this does take time to make a difference. However, the PRF on top of that, and obviously using PRF and all of that, considering how much difference I personally have been able to tell between my under eyes, I'm expecting there to be a difference in my face in the next couple of months to some degree. It may not be drastic to the point that you guys notice it, but as someone who stares at my face a lot, William will probably notice it the same way I will notice. I definitely don't regret doing it. Again, the pain was not that bad. Even afterwards, once the numbing started to wear off, what felt more than anything was the tightness from the actual PRF drying on my skin. And then I didn't wash my face for a couple of hours. I washed my face twice to make sure I got all of the remaining gel off and all of that because she had put Aquaphor and a little bit of SPF on top of my face after the fact. And so to make sure I had all of that, it didn't feel good, rubbing my face and washing it, but I was pretty gentle with it. I patted dry. Sleeping on my side did not prove to be an issue or anything like that. I didn't really get any breakouts. There were a couple of spots that were like little bumps, but they weren't breakouts or anything. It looked fine when I did start putting makeup on it. I put makeup on a couple of times and it wasn't a big deal even when it was peeling because I just made sure I was moisturizing pretty well beforehand, which helped. All in all, would I recommend you getting this? I think, again, as always, think about if you need it, think about if you want, if you have acne scarrings or things like that. Like Karina said in it, she recommended getting it, like doing it once a couple of times if you're targeting a specific area. Mine is just mainly for maintenance. That's what this is. This is maintenance. And to see if it does any changes over the next couple of months. And if it does, maybe I'll do it again just to see if we can get some more, see how it does with these acne dips in my forehead. And that's really it. Was there anything that you did want to know that I didn't cover? Would you ever get microneedling done? Have you had microneedling done? Do you think I'm lying about the pain tolerance? Because sometimes you guys just think I'm lying for funsies. I don't know why. Do you think I'm a baby and I should just get used to doing the blood draws? What do you think? Let me know. Comment down below. Reminder of a podcast, the Swell Entertainment podcast. It is back in operation. Reminder I've merged like this mug and a shirt design for this. That'll probably be I'm a big girl who hates needles or something. I don't know. Something fun. Shout out to my patrons. Thank you so much for subscribing on Patreon. If you'd also subscribe on Patreon, I'll list it down below. Like so, let me know on social media. It'll be all up here. And that's going to be it. Have a lovely day. Goodbye. Make sure that you are doing your research into the med spa / place you are going to before you go and get microneedling done. There have been instances of people reusing needles, reusing bits, not doing proper cleaning. Please do your proper research beforehand. There's just certain things that I don't think you should skimp on. And aside from the fact that I got this for free because I had won it, I trusted Karina. I trusted Gold Coast Aesthetics prior to that. Maybe go and talk to them beforehand, talk to them about their practices, get something else done maybe before you do this. I don't know. It's your call, but be safe out there.
Thank you, Andrew, Alan, Cameron, Christopher, Chris, Crispy, Crashby, She, Diana, Derniwan, Dawn, Donnie, Elliot, Evan, Eric, Eyal, Hopeless, Homer, Incognito, Isaiah, Zachary, James, Joe, John, Jordan, Joseph, Kenny, Kim, Kristen, Lamb, Lex, Lisa, Luis, Mae West, Madeline, Matt, Matt O, Matthew, Meme Lord, Michael, Mia, Michael J, Michael T, Micah, Nathaniel, Nocturnal, Pat, Penn, Richard, Rob, Red, Robert, Ross, Ryan, Sam, Serena, Ciara, Skylar, Simon, Tasha, Timothy, Heavenly, Plastic, Tenzin, Tom, Thomas, Query, Randy, Wendy, William, Winter, Will, Zendry, Zwink.